Yeah, just listen.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah,
Okay. So first thing first, in this industry, when we say about DevOps, right? DevOps. It's a it's just a word which include many things inside this DevOps. You in general terms we say that guy is working as a DevOps engineer or somebody is working as a DevOps engineer. But this DevOps is a methodology, okay, where multiple things comes up. Like why when DevOps came, so it was a, we added two words like developer and operations, right? So when developers face challenge in deploying the application into the infrastructure, then ops team used to help. So there was a gap between developers and operation teams. So to bridge the gap, this terminology coined like DevOps, a new term came in the market, which was, I mean, long back it came. So, but along with DevOps, there are other terms also in the market. When you go for interview, right, and when you will look for jobs in LinkedIn and Naukri.com, you will see there words also like somebody will call it SRE, right? Then someone will call it cloud engineer, these all are different terminologies for the same thing, but yeah, little bit of difference would be there. And the third term is platform engineer. So first of all, we will have to distinguish the role between all these three things. Like DevOps, as you know, if you in a layman term, if I say, a person who helps a developer to deploy his application into infrastructure is the guy who is called DevOps. Then comes a second word called SRE, which is nothing but site reliability engineer. Site reliability engineer. So site reliability engineer is comes when uh, your application is deployed in your production. Now you have to make sure that your application is up and running, and this these people SRE team make sure that uptime is 100%, like monitoring, alerting, issue resolve, I mean troubleshooting, everything comes under this SRE role, right? Then there is a term called cloud engineer, where they work on different clouds like AWS, Azure, then GCP. These are the most used cloud technologies in the market right moment. And you already have worked on Azure, right? So you will be familiar with Azure, AWS a little bit. Some people are familiar with all three clouds. Some people are familiar with only one cloud. Okay, then comes a term called platform engineer. What platform engineer does is they develop a platform with including infrastructure, application, everything. You can say like platform as a service, PaaS, right? So platform, they develop the platform, they maintain the platform, and the other team utilizes that platform. So here also they use the same DevOps methodology, SRE thing, and cloud thing, right? So as you are looking forward to, I mean, to enhance your career and learn new skills, so there are these things which you have to learn. And as you mentioned, your first priority is Kubernetes, right? So
yeah. And Chandran, just I wanted to understand, like, are you having real-time experience on this payoff?
yes, because I'm working for an organization and it's a
Okay.
banking project which I'm working on. And
Mm-hmm.
as you know, banking projects are, properly managed, because here we have security reasons. Like unlike than other industries, like you see healthcare or FMCG or retail, there are many other businesses, right? But
Mm-hmm.
In banking clients, we have to take care of security thing at most priority.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'll come back to the roadmap. Since there are many things to learn in DevOps, if you go for an entire thing, it it is going to take time. So first of all, as you are from the production support background, so I will tell you where we should start first. First of all, you will
Mm.
have to start with the Docker thing,
Mm.
right? Docker is the basic. If you don't know basic, you will face challenges in managing Kubernetes also, right?
Yeah.
So Docker is must. When somebody knows Docker, what he does, he learns Kubernetes. Kubernetes can be open source as well as managed Kubernetes. Like every cloud, AWS, Azure, Google, everybody is providing Kubernetes services. Okay, so if you go for AWS, they call it EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. Then if you go for Azure, they call it AKS, Azure Kubernetes Services. And if you go for Google, they call it GKE, Google Kubernetes Engine. So there's only terminology difference and little bit of features changes, but most of them are similar. So I am working on GKE, Cloud, but I'm familiar with the others as well. But I would like you to learn the open source Kubernetes, because if you learn open source, it will be easy for
Mhm.
you to work on a managed Kubernetes engine as well. Okay. So when you learn Docker, then you learn Kubernetes. What Kubernetes does is it tells you how to do the container orchestration. So container orchestration is where you manage multiple container images. And here in Docker also you can manage container, but the challenge is this limitations are there. Like you can use Docker Compose to deploy multiple images, but there are limitations. There's not enough of infrastructure available on Docker, right? You can install Docker in your laptop as well, and you can do the containerization, and you can do the container orchestration. But Kubernetes gives you a bigger infrastructure, like where you will have a cluster. So Docker is a basic, and industry wise everybody is using this thing, Kubernetes. Then when Kubernetes came, so challenges were there, like deployment config, writing YAMLs for doc Kubernetes, right? And then like deployment dot YAML, services dot YAML, ingress dot YAML, many things were there to write. So it's a bigger portion. Like Kubernetes is a big size curriculum, if you say. Then when the challenges were there in writing YAMLs, then people came with a new terminology called Helm. If you know Helm, you can deploy your images in the in Kubernetes infrastructure using Helm package manager. This is nothing but a package manager. Like if you know Linux, right? Red Hat Linux. So what Red Hat Linux does, you have to install any software on Red Hat Linux. So you use yum, or if you are using Ubuntu Linux, then you have to use apt. So this is how do you install anything on Linux. So similarly, if you have to install or configure this container orchestration, if you have to perform, then you need Helm. Helm is very important part nowadays, because nobody is doing the deployment using simple command like kubectl apply -f and all. So
Mm.
these three things are the most important thing. Other than that, there will be, if you are moving into DevOps role, so expectations are more, like people would like you to know, interviewer will expect you to know CI/CD tools. There are many CI/CD tools in the market, but The top priority tools are Jenkins, then GitHub Actions, then we have Ergo CD. So these three things, if you know, you will be valued in the market. Like interviewers will consider you a good candidate for the DevOps role, or you can say this thing. Yeah, when you come to SRE role, then expectation would be you should be knowing Prometheus and
Prometheus
Grafana.
basically it's yeah, both should be similar, right? Prometheus and Grafana.
No, Prometheus is metrics collector, and Grafana is a dashboard where you display whatever data it collects. It displays
Mm-hmm.
on the dashboard. So suppose your infrastructure has issues like CPU memory issues or many things. So Prometheus will collect the data and it will send the data to Grafana. Grafana will display on the Grafana dashboard. So this is required when you want to become a SRE, because even in DevOps roles, sometimes they expect you to know these things, monitoring thing. And even every cloud gives you monitoring ability. Like in Google Cloud, it is giving monitoring services, observability thing. And Azure also definitely will have something to do the monitoring. AWS also is giving. So one thing is important to, if you really want to learn these things, so first of all you will have to learn one cloud for sure, right? And the basic of everything is Linux. You should be familiar with Red Hat Linux or some flavor of Linux. So this is the ultimate roadmap, and there are many things other also, like uh, cloud itself is big in size. If you have to learn cloud, then you will have to give a lot of time on the on everything. But my focus is, since you are looking for a job change or career growth in the coming 3 months, so
Mm-hmm.
these three topics will be our target:
Okay.
Docker,
So basically,
Kubernetes, and Helm.
yeah. So Chandan, if you might be seeing the positions where it comes like a DevOps support role.
Yeah.
So even though if it's in support or an SRE role, still they are looking for this should have exposure onto the CI/CDs, and we can read the Terraform. At least we should have an exposure what's exactly happening when we run a Terraform pipeline. So currently, what's happening here is Chandan, like when we do this deployment.
Hmm.
So we get this pipeline which is created by the DevOps. So we run it. We can only view it like it's what's like happening and all.
Hmm.
But exactly how they build it, first of all, we don't have exposure to that. And when
Hmm.
you say that helms and all, so
Hmm.
we know the commands basically to
Hmm.
upgrade the versions of any deployment or any pods. But
Hmm.
how that has been created and all, we don't know that. Basically, the
Hmm.
backend part, like how
Hmm.
it works and all. Even though if it's not needed much, but we should have that exposure or we should have that knowledge how it's been created and how it works and all.
Yes, true. See,
So,
I did not
yeah.
mention the Terraform and Ansible because
Hmm,
these two things are related to infrastructure provisioning, right?
hmm,
Terraform, one topic, and then we have one topic called Ansible. So
hmm,
all the cloud is using Terraform, and Terraform is cloud agnostic, platform agnostic. Like Terraform is basically used in everywhere on the cloud, and there are other tools also in competition with Terraform, like Crossplane, Pulumi. Even AWS has AWS Cloud Formation, but nobody is like matching Terraform's ability. So most of the companies are using Terraform. Even we are using Terraform for our infrastructure provisioning. Like suppose we are working on a Google Cloud. So if we have to provision a Kubernetes cluster, GKE, so what we
hmm,
do, we write a Terraform code, and then we run a pipeline which triggers Terraform code and deploys the GKE cluster. So we get the GKE cluster ready. We don't have to click on console manually, like click, and then finally you get
hmm,
this created. So Terraform, what it does, it helps you do everything in automation way. It's a programming language which is called HCL, HashiCorp language. HashiCorp is a company which has built this Terraform thing, and recently IBM has bought this Terraform. And then comes the Ansible. Since you have provisioned Terraform, I mean, you infrastructure provisioning using Terraform. Suppose you have to create a Red Hat machine, right, in a Google Cloud or Azure Cloud. So you write a code in Terraform and then provision the cloud, I mean, a virtual machine, and then your virtual machine is ready, but you have to install Python on top of that or some other software you need, right? So for that purpose, software, I mean, Ansible tool comes in play. You have to write a playbook, and then you have to run the playbook, and then desired changes will happen. Like suppose you have thousands of virtual machines and you want to configure some kind of software, like suppose we have to install control m software on top of 1,000 machines. So if you will go and log into each virtual machine one by one and do the installation, it will take long time, right? And it will require lots of manpower. So in order to automate everything, these tools came, Terraform and Ansible. So this is part of cloud and infra, because if you're working in a cloud, then definitely you need to learn Terraform. And if you have any experience, past experience, like working on Red Hat or any Linux machine where you need some configuration changes, like you have to install some software, so in that case you definitely need Ansible. People used to do it manually. That time was different when team had like 15, 16 people, and they were doing patching things and all. Like one guy is doing whole night patching. Those things were different time. Now everything is automated in most of the company. So in AI era, we have everything like Ansible Tower. Even your Copilot can write a code for you. Ansible playbooks can be written by Copilot. Terraform code can be written by Copilot. But yes, you need to have understanding what Terraform does and how it should do. I mean, how it should work, and similarly how Ansible performs things, how the modules are there. So these things are also important. But why I did not mention this, because I thought you are mostly interested in this part. See, this part can be learned also. Like this is the infra part, right?
Mhm.
And this
So
is code.
Chandan,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not at a core level, but uh, at least we should have an overview, like what it does, how that happens, and all.
Yes, I'll
Because
tell you.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. You complete your sentence. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So basically, what I am trying to upgrade myself is I want to switch to a proper day of support role. So for
Okay.
that, I should not miss what exactly this Terraform does, this Ansible, what it does. Not on the core level, but at least I should have some knowledge on
Yes.
to that part as well.
So I'll
To
tell
know
you,
what it is basically.
when you land into this job, right, DevOps. So there'll be
Mm,
multiple teams inside there as well. Like some team will take care of these things, writing Docker file, deploying the images into the Kubernetes cluster. So even in Kubernetes, there are two roles. One is CKA, Certified Kubernetes Administrator, and one role is
mm,
Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. So when somebody asks me what's the difference between CKA and CKAD, so CKA, those who are maintaining the cluster, like you created a cluster, if cluster goes down or some node gets failed or something happens to troubleshooting part, CKA does, right? Certified Kubernetes
mm,
Administrator. Then comes a role of CKAD, Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. Suppose a person who is a Java developer, right? He developed an application. Now he wants to deploy that application. So what he does, he writes the code and create a Helm chart and then deploys the application. But he may not do the troubleshooting of Kubernetes cluster also. Like suppose some node failure happens. That guy who has developed Java application, who is deploying the application, he does not know how to bring up the cluster, or how he does not know how to upgrade the cluster, or he does not know how to maintain the cluster networks, all those things, IPs of pods and networking things of Kubernetes. So if you see, there are multiple roles within Kubernetes itself, right? So when you land in a job, if you are going to learn everything like end to end, right? When you say you want to learn this thing, everything, so you will become a full stack engineer. Like you will know everything,
mm,
right? But it doesn't mean that you will get to work on that. Suppose I am working
mm,
on something, maybe on all of these tools I know, but I may not get to work on all these. Like currently I'm working on Jenkins. Maybe previous company I have worked on GitHub Actions. Maybe in
Mm.
some other company I'll get to work on Ergo CD, right? So
Okay.
what I am trying to say is we have to focus on everything briefly,
Mm.
but focus on these things because of my experience. I can tell you these three are the most valuable thing at the moment
Mm.
because you'll directly work with the developers if you know these things. But if you know these two things like Terraform and Ansible, then you will may I mean I wouldn't say, but you may end up doing cloud provisioning and troubleshooting. So you will become like a cloud engineer. Cloud engineer also does the same. Like he'll create GKE cluster, virtual machines, storage buckets, all those things. A cloud engineer's role is, which requires Terraform and Ansible thing. You will create a Linux machine, then you will troubleshoot on that, install the software. It will kind of become admin job, right? But if you
Mm.
focus on these three things, Docker, Kubernetes, Helm, and if you
Mm.
strongly understand things and you are able to deploy the application using Helm, Kubernetes, and all, then you will definitely, you will be part of kind of developer part. So these, including CI/CD also, these four things: Docker, Kubernetes, Helm, and CI/CD. So
Mhm.
that you will be considered almost a developer. And if you learn development plus of this infrastructure provisioning also, then you will be like uh, complete DevOps,
Mhm.
but with a limited time, right? How much time are you planning to give it to, you know, learn this? Because see, Kubernetes topic itself will be a vast topic, right? So within 3 months, and uh, we have to manage it in weekends only, right? Saturday, Sunday,
Mhm.
apart from your working hours.
Mhm.
So accordingly,
I think
we'll have to plan it.
okay. So basically, 3 to 4 months, if we can cover it, or you can say like you can update like how much time it will take, and
Yeah. See, I can say in
in
I need.
further, yeah.
Yeah.
So just I also wanted to see, or if you can just help me understand, like what we generally do, like as part of our behave activities, like if there are any requests as such, like if you want to configure any alerting and all. So
Hmm.
what we generally do is like we reach out to our DevOps team and we ask that, yeah, so this is the limited threshold, or after this we should get the alerting part and all.
Hmm.
So after, so we get this Git issue ID created and we assign it to our DevOps team, and they basically later on they with the freeze, or we can say with the issue ID whenever the release is happening. So they ask us to run this pipeline, or nowadays it's been moved to this Git pipeline. So when
Okay.
we run it, it get configured. So if you can just also give us a live example, like how basically the request comes from the support team, and how do you configure it and how that works.
Okay. So basically, I'll give my example. I'm working
Hmm.
on Google Cloud, right?
Hmm.
So I have worked for a small period in a observability team. When we call
Okay.
observability team is kind who is taking care of monitoring, alerting, and logging everything.
Hmm.
So suppose I have a request that I have to monitor my infrastructure, right? So
Hmm.
we what our team does is we have a Terraform configuration files, right? So what
Hmm.
it does, when we trigger the Terraform configuration through pipeline, it's a CI/CD pipeline which triggers. So Jenkins will create a monitoring and alerting system, right?
Hmm.
What it does, whatever parameters we set, like CPU utilization, if it goes 80% and above, it should
Hmm.
generate an alert. So we configure X matter alerts or email alerts, whatever is required, and
Hmm.
then that alert triggers and it goes to the respective uh, a person who needs those alerts. So suppose a virtual machine is there, and I don't want downtime of the virtual machine, and I
Mm.
want those who are concerned, like production virtual machines are there, and it goes down, so it may impact. So before it impacts, we want that alert to go to the people, respective team who wants that alerts. So we configure in our as an observability team, we configure the alerts and logging also, like all the logs which is generating. Like
Mm.
yesterday, suppose somebody deleted something, so those logs will be available in the log sync. So we using Terraform, we configure everything in cloud, monitoring, alerting, and logging.
Mhm.
These three things. So this is part of observability. So as I said, that comes under this site reliability part.
Mhm. Okay.
So as of now, do you need these requirements are coming to you like site reliability engineers role?
Yeah.
I mean, you need to configure alerts and all. Like DevOps team does it for you, right? And you want to
Yeah,
learn how
DevOps
they do it.
team. Yeah, correct, correct. I want to learn it, like how exactly they configure it and all. So
Okay.
because we have
Which
that limitation as a support
which
role.
which
So
application you are using for monitoring purpose? Prometheus, Grafana, or some other thing?
for monitoring purpose, we use Grafana, and
Okay.
also we have others as well, like um, we use Databricks, we use Airflow, and there are many,
See, Airflow and Databricks are
not only the
for
cloud, but
other
yeah,
purpose.
yes.
Yeah, that the data engineering team is using those things to run their job and jobs orchestration. So
Mm,
in Google
correct.
Cloud, we have this same thing. We used to call it Composer, which is Apache
Mm,
Airflow. But recently they have changed it to name Managed Airflow. So no more
mhm,
Composer in Google Cloud. It's Apache Airflow. So what it does, it helps data engineers to run their jobs. They write a DAG in Python, and then it triggers the DAG and performs the job.
mhm,
And you said Databricks. Databricks is also utilized by data engineers team.
mhm.
So those are not monitoring tool actually.
Yeah,
Monitoring
yeah.
tool, you will learn these things. Prometheus, Grafana is one thing in market. Then
Mm,
you have ELK, Elastic Logstash, Kibana, ELK something. There are many tools in
okay.
the market. Then Splunk, and then uh, there are many tools in the market. But more tools you learn, more confusion will be there. So
Mhm,
better stick to one tool, because tools will come and go in the market. As I said, for everything, new term comes. If you go to Kubernetes itself, there will be lots of names. Many companies are coming with same thing, Kubernetes.
mm,
As I said, three names, right? EKS,
mhm,
AKS, and GKE. There are many others like OpenShift. Then you have Nomad. All these are GKE only. I mean Kubernetes
mhm,
only, but different names. So when you see different names, it will give you more confusion. So
mhm,
similarly, for even if for monitoring and reporting and these things, we have multiple options available in the market. But most popular are Prometheus and Grafana. If you know these two, itself
mhm.
is, uh, it is a value in the market.
Okay.
So don't confuse with the lots of terminologies, but your
Mhm,
focus should be like what I want to learn and what I should deliver and how soon I can get the job. Because if you go to LinkedIn, right, and if you go to job descriptions or as a DevOps engineer or a SRE,
mhm,
so you will see there are lots of requirements. Some job description will have like I want people who know Docker, Kubernetes, Helm. Then
mhm,
some people will add this Jenkins, GitHub Action, Argo CD. So this kind of roles will be definitely there, and you can search with other roles also in LinkedIn. You can see if you search for SRE, their requirement you can understand. Then cloud
mhm,
engineer, what they want expect from a cloud engineer. Even cloud engineer can do the job what DevOps guys do. So yeah, so I would like to know is your expectation from this learning? Like in 3 months, what all things you want to learn? First thing is Kubernetes, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah. Chandan,
Yeah.
basically for an SRE role, what would be the things which I should be aware of?
Yeah, when you say SRE role, right? So first
Mm,
of all, your basic Linux would be very should sound,
yeah.
because you have to
Mm,
troubleshoot things as a SRE.
mm,
It
mm,
anything goes down, P1 alert comes, and your management and everybody expects that you bring up the my machine, virtual machine.
mm,
Then people expect you to manage your Kubernetes. Their
mm,
expectation is that you will bring up your pods, your container should be up and running, and auto scaling, and then everything should be in place for
mhm.
Kubernetes, right? Then
Okay.
third thing comes, you should know cloud as a SRE, because nowadays most of the companies is moving on cloud. On-prem infra is very less. When I say on-prem, means where you we used to have data centers and virtual machines where they're installed for particular client, physical machines where they're networking, network switches, SAN
Mhm,
switches. So those things were there in the market, but since business are moving on the cloud, so we have to upgrade ourselves and learn the cloud thing.
mm,
These three things are basic, and then comes the monitoring and observability part, right? And
mm,
when I said observability, so it includes everything, like monitoring, alerting, error error tracing, everything. So
mhm,
observability also of different types. Like infra people will use observability for their infra uptimes, right? And developers use observability for their application uptime, right? Your application goes
mm,
down is different thing. Your infra goes down is a different thing. So for
mm,
both purpose, observability can use, right?
mm,
I can give you one example. Like when you say Kubernetes, you create a cluster, right? GKE cluster, if I say. So if your cluster goes down, that means all the nodes, we have nodes inside the cluster. Nodes, when I say, it's nothing but a server. So a cluster can have multiple nodes, like
mm,
multiple nodes, 6 nodes, 7 nodes, 8 nodes cluster you can create. Suppose one node goes down, but maybe your application will be running on the other nodes. So your application may be available. But if something is wrong with your application and your application is getting stuck, so there is no, I mean, your nodes doesn't come in picture. Physical issues are not there, but
mm,
application issues are there, right? So you have to monitor your physical infrastructure as well as your application infrastructure. So both work it does observability thing. Now you need to understand how this observability thing works, right?
mm.
So you will have to install Prometheus in your local system and Grafana, and then you can do the, you know, your practice by doing that, installing in your local system.
Mm.
So how is your laptop? Like, is it having good size of RAM? Because you need to install many softwares, and then your system should not slow down if you know these things you will install in your system to practice.
Okay. Currently, configuration is low, but I can upgrade it.
Okay, because yeah, because if
Just
you
let me know
start,
how much configurations and all that is
the
required.
minimum 8 GB RAM is required, because if you
Mm.
install Docker
Yeah.
engine, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it will, I mean, many application will hang if you have not sufficient RAM size.
Mm. Okay.
So you need to have better configuration, and then you will have to install Docker engine in your laptop, so you can practice how to create Docker
Mm.
images, how to run the Docker image
Mm-hmm.
locally, and then you later on you can install. Even the Docker engine comes with Kubernetes cluster, like small,
Mm-hmm.
just to practice. You cannot install bigger application on Kubernetes cluster, but in Docker itself you can use the Kubernetes thing.
Okay. Mm.
or else you have option to create a Google Cloud account or Azure Cloud account. There you can create a free points you get, right, for 3 months. So from
Mm-hmm.
using that points, you can create a Kubernetes cluster in Azure cloud and practice, or even whichever cloud you choose. You can go there and create a Kubernetes cluster, and you can try to deploy the applications. So my teaching style is different. Theory,
Yes.
you keep on learning theory on Udemy and YouTube and wherever, but unless you
Mm-hmm.
practice or do it yourself, it is not going to retain in your mind. So 30% is concept and 70% is what you do. So my teaching style is I will do it in your front, I mean on your
Mm-hmm.
screen. I mean I'm on my screen. I'll show you how I'm doing, and I will expect you
Yes.
to do the same.
Yes.
So this is how I teach. So maybe you will say, okay, theory is not coming, theory part is not coming. Theory you can learn from Udemy, Linux, everywhere. I mean, YouTube or anywhere. But if you want real infrastructure experience, then you will have to do it on yourself, and it will be tiring. Like when you will log into the system, you will have to think what to do, what not to do. It is tiring. Your brainstorming will happen, right? But that way you will learn, because real infrastructure things, when you do it, then only you will learn it. And then there are assessments, like questions will come, then you have to answer the question without using AI, because AI can give you all the answers, but when you brainstorm yourself and ask questions, then you get to know. We will use chat gpt and other AI tools as well whenever we will get stuck, but
Mm-hmm.
we should not be dependent on the AI. There are many things coming up, but see, in future we don't know, whatever we are going to learn may become obsolete, but the knowledge which you will gain right now will help you in growing, I mean learning, upskilling further. Maybe in future AI will come. Already AI is in market and everything. People are crazy about AI, right? And they're saying AI is doing everything, but if you don't know the basics, you don't know how to use AI also. That's the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, life has become easy after this AI thing
Mm-hmm.
came in the market. So we have Copilot to assist coding. If you forget any command in Linux, that Copilot will tell you the command. If you forget any command in cloud, you ask the Copilot, it will tell you the command. So commands are not important, but when you do it, you will learn it. That's how you should approach for this technology, or any technology. If you want to learn, like, you need to learn Python also. Python is very much important in the market at the moment, because everything is happening using Python, whether it is data engineering, data science, AI, ML, everything. There are many packages, libraries related to AI. RAG, MCP, everything is built up on Python. They are writing Python codes and creating agents. So there are a lot of things to learn in market, but I would suggest you to focus on, start with baby step, start learning Docker, Kubernetes, Helm, then slowly progress on everything, and develop a habit of self learning. We are from a, like, a similar kind of school background, right, where we used to learn from teachers. Teacher will teach you, and then we used to write in the exam. So but the I believe we should change the approach. We should do and learn things.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, definitely assistance is required, because it's like our attention span is very low nowadays. We are watching reels, right? We want everything to be in quick 2 minutes available. But if you give enough of time and with full concentration, things will be easy to understand. So we have to keep our attention span bigger, so that we can understand things. So yeah, that's all from my end. Roshan, do you have anything to?
No, Chandan. So most of the uh, topics you already covered and clarified Junaid questions, and you have given clarifications to all of his questions. So Junaid, I hope you are much comfortable with our presentation, our demo class. But again, I insist you to come with your query and questions if still you have something in your mind. So we will try to
Mm.
clarify from our side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would like to just tell one thing. So Junaid, you said you have 3.5 years of experience, right?
No, no. Overall, I have 6 years, but
Okay,
in
six.
cloud environment, so it's 2.5 or 2.4, you can say.
Okay, so you are well aware what is evolving in the market, right? What are the things in
Yeah.
demand? What are the job roles in demand?
Yes, yes, yes. For that
Yeah.
purpose only, I wanted to upgrade myself because
So
whenever I was looking for an SRE role,
yeah,
they are asking for this stuff like pipeline. On for Kubernetes, I have basic idea, but not
yeah,
in-depth knowledge.
yeah, yeah.
And also because I have given one interview as a recollect 1 year back, I think so. But
Mhm.
they were more into this stuff like what exactly happens in the CI/CD, and also I was not aware, so that's why that
So
interview was not
after
successful.
working hours, are you able to dedicate your time for self studies? Like, because when I take your class, suppose I'm taking on weekends, you will have to put your effort as well on everyday basis.
Mm-hmm.
Because just 2 days of learning won't help in a week. And also we have, as you said, you wanted to finish it soon, right? So otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
if we cover everything, it may take time. But if we go very fast, like in a day, how much time you can dedicate? Like if weekend you are joining, how much time you can dedicate for learning?
In a day, I think I can take about 2 hours. I at least I can use for
Okay,
my study purpose. Yeah.
but we will have to go fast in 2 hours because in a week we have only 4 hours to cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 hours in a week, and we have 4 weeks, so 16 hours in a month. So if you
Mm-hmm.
calculate that way, we have less time to cover lots of things. So definitely you may miss few things, right? So that's why you need to put extra effort to complete things and make
Mm-hmm.
yourself job ready.
Yeah, so Chandan, we can stretch a little bit here and there. We will see how things are progressing. But Junaid, if you are more concerned about CI/CD pipeline and versioning control of the development work and the Ansible part, then we will cover those topics as well at very high level. So at least you will have
Mm-hmm.
understanding what things are going on at the time of production
Mm-hmm.
deployment, how it goes
Yes,
from
yes.
development to testers to UAT and then production. So all those version
Mm-hmm.
control and all we will try to cover up in our classes. So
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about that. So we'll cover all those topics which is relevant for your future roles or DevOps role. So I totally
Mm-hmm.
understand that the CI/CD pipeline managing all the versions of the development and deploying in production. So these are the
Mm-hmm.
mandatory stuff for DevOps engineers. So we'll try to cover all these topics. So don't worry about those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there anything, Junaid, that you want us to clarify from our side?
No, I think it is fine. The
Sure.
topic which Chandan has shared, I think that should suffice whatever I'm looking for. So,
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And I would like to thanks Chandan and to you as well, Junaid, for your time. And hope we'll meet up soon. And looking forward to collaborate with you all, with Chandan, with Junaid, and our uh, colleagues from Institute. So thank you all. Thanks for this interesting session, and I hope we'll connect again very soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.
Same to you.